Right on, folks. How are you? I seen there was a complaint from somebody left a comment. They were like, "You're rubbish. You're not the player you think you are," and all this nonsense. You know what I mean? Everything changes when you hit the red button. You know what I mean? It's like, why something? You know what I mean? Being competitive about playing instruments goes on when you're like 14. You know, by the age of 21, you usually catch on and go, you know, that's silly. You know. So you know what I mean? It's just nonsense. Anyway, I wanted to talk about a wee tune by Jimi Hendrix called Castles Made of Sand. I remember hearing it when I was about 18 or 19 and just being completely bowled over by it. Didn't know what he was doing with the guitar. He was playing in that chordal style, which he employed a lot on that second album, the Axis Bold as Love album. So, I mean, probably the most commonly known one would be Little Wing, you know. Have you one there? Is it there? Something like that, right? It's all those type of moves, you know. But basically, if you're on a major chord, G major, you basically hold, thumb goes over the top, so you're not playing that chord like that. Because how can you do all that Hendrix stuff? Go, what, like this? It's a bit awkward, so the thumb goes over the top, getting the root note, and then you use 3 fingers to do all this. So the little finger's free, and the other ones you just sort of jump at, like that one. Yeah. Those ones, and then if it's a minor chord, say this A minor that we were looking at. You know, and it goes. Yeah. That's what you kind of do. You know what I mean? When you're learning at the start, you don't know. You're just picking all this stuff up, and you know, I have to hit this one, I have to hit that one. You don't realize that there's an underlying structure which is quite linear and easy to follow whenever you break it down that way. You know, E minor to start with. Well, she's walking. E minor, 2, 3, 4. 1 bar of A minor. Through the clouds. G major, 2, 3, 4. A minor next. The thing is, when I'm doing with that, there's many ways to hold that. You can do a shell voicing. You can do it like that. You can do it like that. You know, you can play whatever way you want, as long as you've got the A at the very bottom, which is your root note. So all you gotta hit is minor third. You can hit the 5 you want, you can hit the 7 as well, but whatever you're hitting, as long as it suggests that that's the chords that you're playing. Anyway, 1 bar of each chord, 3, 4, then 1, 2, it's a B minor, 3, 4, 1, 2, it's half a bar each for that A minor to C. Pretty much the same chord. That's relative minor. There's only like 1 note's difference in it. You know what I mean? So you could just stay on the A if you really wanted to, like, you know what I mean? That wee change there gives you a bit more context, really, you know. And then it goes to this G. Some strange wee movie goes. So 4, and you follow the drum lead in. You get an idea in your mind of how it goes anyway, of when they come in. And I think that's something that helps, is knowing that there is an underlying structure of very basic building blocks that more often than not in rock music and stuff is built on 2s and 4s and things that are very easy to internalize, you know, and then work off the top of that. Suddenly you start to understand why he played that particular sound there. Yeah, because he was making sure that we could hear the A chord there, you know what I mean? And he did put another wee flavour on top of it as well, but it is Jimi Hendrix, you know what I mean? Jimi Hendrixes don't come along all that often, sure they don't, so you know, you do have to reconcile yourself to the fact that he has like a musical ability that you'll probably, none of us ever will really reach, you know what I mean? And make sure that you work, your practice, your work, and you know, your sort of whatever type of thing you're trying to manifest in yourself as a player is more fairly squared up with your own level as a musician as well. You know, don't give yourself goals that are way out of reach when you're still only on level 2, really, you know, things like that. So, but anyway, Castles Made of Sand goes something like this. And I don't play it perfectly, you know, I used to know it note for note and all that. I don't bother with that these days, like, you know, I don't have the time, you know, but it goes like this, right? Goes into that F to start with. Might be like an F7 or an F11 or something like that, might be, I'm not sure. Then A. I guess something like this, the first leg goes. You go to yourself. I recognise that like from Little Wing. Yeah. And then it goes up to E minor, I believe. Something like that there. And then where does it go after that? Help, please, I'm lost. So it goes right F, goes up. Down the street you can hear her scream, "You're a disgrace," as he slams the door. She slams the door in his open face. And now he stands outside. It's the E minor. A quick jump, F, C, and then back home to G, which is, that's the key word. So G is the home chord. That's back home, you know. So yeah, what does it go? Down the street you can hear her scream, "You're a disgrace," as she slams the door in his broken face. And now he stands outside, and all the neighbors gossiping too. So everything he plays is according to the chord. He'll just play in the key of whatever chord he's on, nearly. Like I say, he comes up with amazing little musical parts, you know, reaching like Sly Stone and stuff, James Brown, and you know, because he grew up in that, that whole circuit, like, you know what I mean, he was playing with Little Richard and the Isley Brothers and all those guys, like, you know, it's just not something they put in the book for the fun of it. No, he was one of them, you know, he was a backing musician at that time because he was early in his career and hadn't really, I suppose, you know, paid his dues or really grown to be what he was going to be, you know. But that's more or less how that tune goes, right? So the intro goes. like, what is there a textbook for that? It's like, not quite. This one's a little bit more difficult to categorize, you know. So that first bit is, so that's G, right, on the low E string, right? So slides there from the second. Yeah, so 1, 1, 2 up to 3. That's a major third, which is in that chord. So that first measure, but 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Back to the G. Now, whether that is related to the actual chords that are insinuated underneath it, or it's just like a riff a party came up with, it's hard to say. If it was built into the chords, it would be G, G, B flat, C. Something like that there. It doesn't matter that much, really. Some people like to work things out in theoretics and stuff like that. They find it very helpful. Like he plays a backwards guitar solo on that one, you know. Whatever way they hooked him up in the studio. He was working with the best of good engineers and, you know, all of that stuff. Like, and he was a guy that he read a lot of sci-fi novels and stuff. So he wanted to put that futuristic sound into stuff. And of course, you know, the Star Spangled Banner, etc. You know, he painted a whole scene, whole picture, nearly, you know, with the diving bombs and the ruination when the bombs connect and stuff like that. Like I say, well, now Hendrix is one of them ones you just have to go and talk about being jealous of people as players and stuff. One of them ones you just have to go, it's beyond me. Like, alright, love him, like, but fucking hell, I'll not be picking that one up anytime too soon. So anyway, there's one or two other songs that employ those same kind of style, that same style of playing on the title track of Axis Bold as Life Goes. I go there. You know, there's the other one. Goes, oh, Daddy, my girl, you must be insane. Yeah, all those wee numbers, like, and he was doing it on the first album too. That style was there with Hey Joe, and just a bit more pared back on the song Waterfall, maybe off the first album. Yeah, crazy guy. I'll Jimmy, yeah. I'll Jimmy. Good night.